And there we go. Welcome, everyone. We are super excited you're able to join us today. As you might have already known, we've launched Linearity Move on Monday, and the response has been phenomenal so far. We are beyond thrilled. This has been a long time coming, and we feel super proud of what we've accomplished in actually a short manner of time as well. It's this project all ideated, got happened in 2 years, I think, just a little bit more than 2 years. So phenomenal effort from the entire team. So kudos to the entire Linearity Move team as well. And with that, we decided to kick off educational event series called Linearity's How-To Sessions. And you're joining us for the first one to create your very first animation with Linearity Move. Joining me today is the one and only Yash Aurora, our senior product designer here at Linearity. Hey Yash.
Hey.
And with that, I'll dive a little bit into our agenda for today. So we have some news for the community, we have some exciting stuff happening, and we would love to invite you to join us. And then I'm gonna give a little bit of a sneak peek into already what's been done with Linearity Move. And for what more can be done with Linearity Move, Yash will take over the stage for a hands-on demo with a theme we both really loved putting together. I think you are all gonna love it as well. And then we'll wrap it up with Q&A. And with that, I'll jump right into our news for the community. So, exciting stuff happening on the 2016th. We are going to launch our product hunt. We are going to launch Linearity Move on Product Hunt, and on that day, we are going to have an Ask Me Anything session with the team, including our CEO, Vladimir, myself, Yash, our VP of Product, Malte, and our product manager, Sabrina, as well. So come join us, and in the meantime, I'll share a link so that you can join us. I'll share all the links shortly. I'll carry on. And the second chapter of Linearity's how-to sessions will happen with the exceptionally talented Maddie Zoli, our illustrator and animator, powerhouse lady. We already did an event with Maddie before and it went super well. So it only feels right to do a second event with her. And our ambassador program just went live last month, and we already have our very first ambassadors coming in, and we are hoping to get more ambassadors. And I will share all the resources and all the links in the chat in just a few minutes. And some house rules, if you see anything, if you want to ask any questions, feel free to use the Q&A panel. Our team is on the spot. We'll get you some answers as well, if I can as well. Use the chat, feel free, but you can save them for the Q&A session as well. And with that, some sneak peek into what our previous beta testers, what some of our non-designer employees and designer employees have put together with Linearity Move. So this is just a tiny glimpse of what's been put together in under 10-15 minutes, I can assure you. Of course, not all of them have been put together in 10-15 minutes, but individually they all took roughly 10-15 minutes. And with that, I won't keep much of your time and I'll hand the keys over to Yash. Yash, the stage is yours.
Well, thanks, Mary, for the intro. Hey, everyone, I'm Yash, Senior Product Designer at Linearity, and welcome to Create Your First Animation with Move. We will go through all the fundamentals of using Move so that you can get started with creating your animations in no time. I would like to add that the theme for today's session is Legos, and we will learn all the important pieces of creating the animation so that you can later on combine them together to create something beautiful. We will look at auto animate using presets animations, design and animate to going into details with like keyframes and easings. So yeah, we can begin. Let's begin with something that you might already be familiar with. And for that, I will start sharing my screen here. And I'll switch to Figma. So why do we actually need to animate? It's like if I were to think about it, it would be to tell stories. And to tell stories, every story has these key moments in time that we can actually create a storyboard from. So that's what I've done here in Figma, where let's imagine we have an app called Localize, and I would like to use that app. So there is a user who has the pain points that they want to localize their app, but they don't know where to get started. So they come across an application called Localize. And so on, I will build up my story and like created these static keyframes, again called storyboards. And once I have like a story together, then I can bring them into Move and stitch them together to tell it more beautifully. I would like to highlight one more thing that if you'll notice, like in these two artboards, there is the text of the logo as well. So it's present in the first artboard as well, but it's hidden, whereas here it's visible. It has its relevance, we'll see why. But now that we have looked into the storyboard, I will just go to Move, and this is Move. The first time that you will open Move, you will see this home screen. And at the top of the home screen, there are sample files which you can download and learn from them. They have some animation already inside. And you can create a new document. Since I've been creating other animations, I have my files listed over here. Um, And on the left, we have an option to import. So just like I showed that I can draw my storyboard in the design application of my choice. I can do that in Figma or Curve or Sketch and then import them. And here you can just connect with Figma. It will ask you to sign in, and then you can select the file. There is a Learn tab as well, where all the tutorials are listed so that you can get started, and all the latest news is available as well. Here, since I have already connected with Figma, I will just click on the file so that it brings all the artboards that I have created over here inside Move. And once you import the storyboard, we get something called a scene builder. And what are scenes? Scenes are just smaller parts of the animation so that you can organize your file a little better. So I will just drag or like shift select the outputs that I want, and then drag them over into the scene area to create a scene. And here I would go with two scenes and make it maybe 1 second long. And this one is 5 seconds long. And I can change them later on as well, and click on import. And before you would even realize, I can just hit the play button, and Move will do the magic that we call auto animate and create the animation for you, just so that you can begin with here. Here, as we saw, like we have created two scenes. This is scene 1 and scene 2. And I can go inside these scenes and edit them. Before that, let's take a look at the interface itself. On the left side, this is called the project view, like where we are seeing the scenes. On the left side, we have the library area where all your assets are visible. So you can create assets inside Curve, Linearity Curve, and then store them so that you can easily bring them to Move. And on the right side, when nothing is selected, you would see the project properties. Here you can select the resolution of the canvas, FPS, and so on. Once you select the scene, then it actually changes to the context of the scene, where you can change the background fill or the duration. And then, of course, the below is the timeline where you can, you know, manage your scenes or like create or import again. I will go inside a scene by just double clicking. And this is what we call as a scene area. And here, because now we are actually dealing with the individual pieces of the animation, you have more options, like you can use presets by selecting an object and then animating. Assets, as we saw before, you can even bring photos. And on the right, again, like depending upon the selection, the inspector actually changes and gives you more option. And there's the animation tab, and then there's the style tab. In the timeline, as you see, the animate mode is on by default, but there is design mode as well. And the animation that has been created by me, by Move, if I play back, I can actually select this part and then move it anywhere when I'm in design mode. So what will happen is the animation is preserved and I can continue to create or that is design inside Move itself. So I don't have to go back to Figma and start from scratch. I can just continue to build my animation over here. I will just do undo to bring it back. And any change that I do in animate mode will be recorded as an animation. We'll see more on that. So that's enough about this animation. I would like to show how far you can actually take it if you were feeling a little more adventurous. And for that, I will showcase another example of a storyboard where we're telling the story of an iPhone, where you can take selfies and so on. So I will just go back to Move. And since it's a curve file now, not in Figma, you can see the curve file directly on the home screen. I'll just double click on the curve file and it shows all the artboards. I will select my first artboard, press on Shift, and then the last artboard that I want in the scene, and then drag and drop. So it creates the first scene, and maybe make it like 13 seconds long because there are a lot of artboards here. And I will do the same with the second part of the scene and drag and drop, and maybe make it like 8 seconds long. So I have two scenes and click on import, and I'll just press play again. And then there we have it. The animation that has been created using auto animate, where I have just worked in an area that is the design software where I'm comfortable with, and then I bring them into Move and then continue to animate. Yeah, so this is how far like we could take it, but I'm sure that you can take it even further. So we'd love to see what you make. Yeah. So you might be wondering like, oh, we are talking about localized, we are talking about Apple, where does the Legos theme come in? Okay, so we can start there now. And this is as I mentioned, the theme, right? So we will now look at individual pieces. The first piece that we looked at was auto animate. And now we can look at other pieces to, to create the animation. And for that, again, I will start with auto animate because it's sort of my favorite. I will go to Move and open the curve file. Here, if you can see it. And I will just select the 3 artboards and then drag and drop. And since it's like 3 artboards, roughly I'll just make it like 3 seconds long. Again, I can change it later, and then click on import and press play. So the first Lego piece comes in, and then it creates like a zoom effect. Here again, I will go and see that the layers here, like they are well named, like they are there on the first artboard as well. Here, like it goes from BG1 to like the whole group, and then the same is existing on this artboard as well. So Move tries to match the difference between these two artboards and create the animation. So this is the beginning of my Legos animation. And to get some more room, I will just select the scene and then increase the duration to maybe like 8 seconds so that it gives me some more workspace to extend my animation. And notice that I'm in animate mode right now. I can do Command Shift arrow keys to navigate the timeline. That is, it moves the playhead by 1 second. And I will just do that and go to some blank area. I will select my Lego object and then just scale it up. Maybe scale it a bit more up so that it sort of creates like a background and zoom effect, and I can play it back and see the animation that has been created. Again, like I started with artboards over here, and I have artboards over here as well. So we call them snapshots inside Move. So I can select a snapshot and then drag to define like how much time should it take between one snapshot to the next snapshot. And yeah, and then this is the second Lego block, that is the animate mode, and then design mode, as we already saw. So you can use design and animate to switch quickly between the two modes, and then work in the mode that you're more comfortable with. Yeah, so let's look at the next block, and that would be I would bring objects from Figma, like individual objects. We saw import, but now we will maybe like create an object. Again, like it might be easier, or I might prefer it, or so on. So I will just select the object here and then copy it as an SVG, come to Move, go to the design mode, and click on paste. So here, the new object has been added. I will call it maybe Lego 1, and then use the alignment options to align it. As you can see, the changes are happening in all of these snapshots over here. Like if I move it, and no animations has been created. That's why, and that's because we are in design mode. And yeah, so I'm happy with the position of the object. Now I can begin animating. And for that, I can go to the animate mode, go to maybe just pick one of the presets. And I will do like maybe an elastic jump. And it adds an animation for a jump effect here. And I will just play it back again, see how it looks. Okay. But if I go back, now the object is appearing everywhere throughout the animation. Um, and that's not what I really want. So I can just zoom into the area and see my storyboard over here. Go to the first snapshot. And this is the point I don't want it inside, and maybe I just want it outside the canvas. So I will just select the object and drag it outside, and then zoom out and then play back and see what kind of effect is created. So here, and then it creates like a jump effect that is jumping from outside to in, which is I'm happy with actually. So I can go and continue animating. Maybe yeah, it's on the screen. I might wait for like 1 second again. I will use Command Shift arrow to move the playhead by 1 second. And then I would use an out preset to move it outside the canvas. And for that, I can just maybe move it to the left here. And yeah, and I will play it back again. It comes, jumps, stays in, and then move out. It's a little, I don't want it to maybe stay in for 1 second, so I can just drag these two artboards and make it a little shorter here, and comes and goes out. Okay, so that was one way of bringing in an object from Figma. And by the way, this was your Lego number 3 that is using the presets to create an animation. We'll try out another way of bringing a different object from Figma, and that is using the plugin. Full disclaimer, like plugin is in development, it's unofficial, so we are just trying to test it out. So if you have any issues, please report it to us. Here we can just select the object, and I will just go to the plugin and copy the selection, and then come here, go back to design mode, and then paste it here. So the plugin has a benefit that your text will remain as text. It will not get vectorized. Just a handy tip. And since I'm in design mode, again, I will just do alignment so that it's in the center here, and then go to the animate mode to begin animating. So I would like to, or maybe I would start with it being outside and not inside. So here I would like to record the position of this Lego itself. I will call it Lego 2 as a refer. So for that, I can actually add a keyframe. Like we can actually add individual keyframes to record its own position. So I will just do that. And if I expand the Lego 2 object, we'll see that a new keyframe has been added and its value is on the right. I can change the value and then move the playhead again. Here, I will move the keyframe here and then um, move the object inside. So this is one way of animating that is like I'm in animate mode. I will just move the object inside and the keyframe is automatically created, or I will undo it just to show it again that I can actually again create another keyframe. And since there is no change in position, just two keyframes have been added, and I can change the Y value by by changing the value over here. I prefer it to do it like visually, so I will just drag it. And let's see what kind of animation it creates. So the first Lego goes out and this Lego comes in. Maybe I wanted to start a little late, and for that I can just select the animation and move it a little forward. So it goes out, and goes in. And yeah, and this is I'm happy with how the scene one has turned out. I will go back to the project timeline and see and play back to see like what kind of animation is created. Zooms in, the Lego one comes on and out, and then Lego 2 comes in. Okay, so this was your Lego 4. I'm losing track. That is you can actually use. Oh, I forgot to show you one thing. I can actually go to the position value and change the timing curve as well. So it's actually coming in, so I might want to slow it down. And for that, I can change the timing curve by editing the value here as well if I want a custom value. So yeah, the animation inspector is super handy when it comes to that. And I will go back. I'm happy with scene one. I can create a blank scene without actually having to import anything and start from scratch. And for that, I will just double click on the scene and go inside. I
Before
have,
you do that, Yash, as you said, you forgot ease in and ease out. Things, as you showed all the Lego bricks, things can get a little cluttered under the layers area. I
Mhm.
asked this in all previous events as well. What would you recommend, or how would you tackle making sure that you don't get lost in between all the layers and you're able to track the progress that you're making, especially if you're working on a very longer scene, let's say.
Yeah. So I think one technique is basically just to divide your long animation into individual scenes, because some most likely you will be seeing your like some parts of the animation that is, let's say, the first Lego piece, right? Like we don't see it in rest of the animation. So it can just belong to scene one and it does not need to show up in scene two. So I can divide that. The other technique is like, as you can see, like everything here is grouped. So you can group layers of animations that you have created. And this is called like a background group. If I don't need it, I can go and just hide it. And then this group won't show up, but the rest of the animation will. So I can use grouping to again like create maybe like multiple versions and test them out and see which one works and delete the rest. Um, Yeah.
That is help. That is helpful tip. Thank you. I'm pretty sure quite a
Cool.
lot of people can relate.
Yeah. Okay. In here, I would go to second scene, and it's a blank scene right now. We can actually select some of the objects that I have created inside curve, and I will just select the artboard and then come over here and then paste it, and see, like, when we are copying from curve, it's a little easier because it maintains all the relative positioning. I will go and add a background fill here, and yeah, and it's as easy as just copy pasting individual objects here. And as Medit was asking, like, yeah, what we will do to organize, I can take an example as well. Like, I would hide everything that I don't need right now, and I'm in design mode. Um, and I just want to focus on move as an animation, right? So I will just work on that first. I will move this to the top here. And so since it's white in color, I will just change the background fill to black. And yeah, let's maybe create an letter animation. I can actually use the text tool on the left and just type move. But since I already have the letters, I will just make use of them. So I will sort of like create my object before I can animate them. And to make it ready, I will just duplicate them like maybe 4 times or 5 times. And I'm just pressing Shift, Alt, and drag to create multiple copies. And I will change the colors of these individual layers. So maybe this one can be purple, and this one can be yellow, and this one can be green here. And so yeah, I have sort of like step one of my arrangement done. I can group these individual O, V, and E. As we are grouping them, my timeline is getting cleaner. And I can do M, O, V, and E here. And I can actually create like shapes, different shapes here as well. I will just go to the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle. I will go to the arrange and send it to a little backward, or I can just drag in the layers tab as well. And I will call it mask because so what a mask does is basically if you mask some layers, everything inside that mask will be visible and everything that is outside will be hidden. And how that would work is like you can select the mask layer and everything that you want to be masked. I just did like a shift select and then click on mask selection. I will go to the mask itself and remove the fill so that we can see. And yeah, and I sort of have like created this design that is ready to be animated directly inside Move without actually depending upon any other software. And what I can do is I can center align it. Again, I'm in design mode, nothing is being animated, but the moment I go to animate mode, I can move the playhead by 1 second, select the M layer that we had created, and then drag it to like top. And the moment I do it here, we can see a new snapshot has been created with an animation. I will do the same for MOVE, and I will just drag here a little up again. And let's look at the animation that creates. Like it creates like this reveal effect where these colored layers are in the center and then it goes back to being normal. I can also do a sort of cascading where I can just drag the O animation, then the V animation, and then the E animation so that they start a little more naturally one after the other, and that creates this kind of effect. So yeah, we can just keep on playing with it, perfect the timing, change the curves, and yeah, keep on improving it. And I will just call it move here or move logo. And yeah, and this is the animation. It is quite complex, like it has multiple levels going on, but just to keep the timeline clean, I've just grouped everything, and it keeps the timeline a little more manageable. Here, yeah, and now I can go back to design mode. I can show the rest of the objects that I wanted to animate, and I will change the background color to light again so that I can see here. And yeah, I think we'll keep this scene a little short. Maybe the move logo animation starts somewhere here. And once the animation is done, we would bring in the get started and linearity together. For that, I would move them. How should I do it? I can actually just position them here. Like, so this is the end point of the animation. Like I want them inside, but at the beginning I want them outside. So what I can do is I can come to the point in time where I want them here and mark them as like position, and then go backwards like a little like maybe 1 second in the past, and then move it outside. So it will create an animation from the endpoint to the starting point, and yeah, and it will create the in effect. I can also use presets, but this gives me a little more control. I will do the same with like linearity logo. I will go to the last snapshot, mark it with position, then go to the previous snapshot, and then move it outside here. So let's look here, the move logo moves in, and then once it's done, then the get started and linearity comes in together. So yeah, this is it. Oh, we can actually animate the background as well. And for that, I would just keep it brief because Maddie is having another session on January 26th to dive deeper into something called morph. And just a quick preview for that would be I would just copy this star shape, bring it inside move, and for that I'll go to design mode, paste it, resize it, and wherever I want to like position it. So there are two shapes. There is this star shape, and then there is the circle shape, the oval shape that was there previously. I would position them so that I want it to animate from my star shape to the oval shape. So I will select them and then click on morph here, and it will create a morph animation between these two shapes. Here, it's a little too fast, so I can actually go to the animate mode and then extend it so that it lasts the entire entire scene. And right now it's at the top. I would like it to be at the behind everything else. So here, move, it animates, and then we have the linearity logo coming in and get started today. So yeah, so something like this, we can start completely from scratch inside Move and then animate. And once I'm done, I can select the scene, go to the animation tab, and then reduce the time so that I only have maybe, I don't know, 2.8 seconds a little. So something like this. And I can go back to the project timeline and see what kind of animation has been created for scene 2. Okay, so like I told you, like we can divide the larger part of the animation into these smaller parts. But what about stitching them together? Like right now, if I look and zoom in, we have the scene 1 here, but the moment it jumps to scene 2, you see like there is this quick jump happening. You might want that for an effect, but you can even make it a little better by selecting the transitions. The transitions are basically animations that are created from from one scene to the other. So for that, I will go here and create a push transition and keep it like bottom to top, maybe natural ease and 1 second long. And for that, like here, I'll just play it manually that I have the second Lego, then it creates the push effect between these two scenes here. And right at that moment, my move animation starts, the morphing is happening in the background, and then all the logos come in. So yeah, this is the animations that we wanted to create today. I hope this gives you enough pieces for yourself so that you can combine them together and create something beautiful again. Once you're done with the animation, you can go to the file menu and then export. And since it's all vector animations, you can change the width and height to, I don't know, like even like 5K, and it will just work as fine. Right now, the format that we support is MP4, but we are planning to support many more formats very soon. I think that would be my time. I will just put like Lego animation and see the export is done here and play the animation once more. Yeah,
And Yash, that took you like 30 minutes with all the explaining and everything. Well done.
thanks all.
Um, yeah, thank you so much. The vibes have been over the roof in the chat. I think everyone is loving it. I am loving it. I think the theme was amazing, and I think you did an amazing job taking everyone through one by one. And yeah, it's been super nice. And as you show the QR code on the screen, we would love to hear your feedback. And you can just scan the QR code. It will lead you to a feedback form. I'll also share the link in the chat right now. So we would love to hear your thoughts on what we did well, what we could do better. Your feedback is extremely important to us. That's how Move came together. And it's completely anonymous. So yeah, do scan the QR code or follow the link. And yeah, we would love to hear what you have in mind. And I think with that, we can switch to the Q&A bit. So we already have some questions coming in. I'll tackle them one by one. I'll actually, since you already discussed Maddie's event, Deborah already asked, can you somehow animate simple or complex characters? For that, I think one of our beta testers, I won't share his name, but he is an Emmy-winning scriptwriter and also a character animator. And he was super excited about Move, and I won't give away quite a lot of what Maddie has in store, but yes, you can animate simple or complex characters. You can recreate some facial expressions, like some bodily movements, etc. I think that has a lot to do with our node animation feature as well. And for that, you will have to tune into Maddie's event, and I'll share that link to that as well. There we go. And this one was answered live. So the first question was from Juan. Are we able to save animated assets, say logo strings, repeatable badges, etc.?
Not yet. It's like we want to do it and it will soon be possible. But right now you can save static assets.
Yes. This one was answered live. Um, are you planning on providing GIF export option in the future? very near future, I would say. I can already take that off your hands, Yash. So yes, this is absolutely on our roadmap, and yeah, it's already in the works, I can say.
Yeah, that is true.
Are variable fonts supported, and can they be animated?
So we don't support variable fonts right now, but since we do have morphing, you can take advantage of morphing and basically create the similar effects.
Okay, answered lie as well. And we have a beer emoji. Thank you for that. I guess we earned it. And when it comes to audio, um, yes. Well, Yash, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, audio is, I think it will be in our long-term plan. And same goes for video.
Excellent. And then there are some questions. There are some more questions coming. When will you have tutorials? We already do have tutorials on Mac, and the ones on iPad are en route. We are aware of it, and we are on it. I think our exceptionally talented in-house powerhouse lady, Maddie, will be on them in no time. And there
Yes,
you go. She already shared the tutorials.
you can also find them in the app from the Learn tab, and Maddie has shared the link as well in the chat.
And that's the tutorial question answered. I'll carry on. There's a question to go through the steps again to manually edit the timing slash curve between two keyframes.
Sorry, so question, can you go through these steps again to manually edit the timing curve
Yes,
between two keyframes? Yeah, I can do that. I will maybe just go to the
lovely.
same animation, create a blank scene. Here, let's say we have, what should we do? Like maybe, yeah, go to design mode and then keep it simple. Just animate this here and just create like a rotation, right? Here, make it 1 second and then here, right? Like a very simple animation. If I expand, we see the rotation keyframe. And if I select on rotation, there is the timing editor on the right. If you click on the chevron icon, it shows you the editor as well. You can select any of the currently available curves, or you can enter the values manually. We will be adding more functionality to this very soon, but for now, I think the best way would be that either you edit the values over here and define the curve, or there is a very handy tool for that. It's called easing curve, for lack of better name. I can just, yeah, cheat sheet maybe. Yeah, but there is an online tool already that where you can just copy those four values and paste them here. That is only momentarily, but we will be adding more functionality on this.
There's a question on merging. Are you planning to merge the two applications, Curve and Move, into one? Last I heard, this is a no. I think they both have their superpowers. They're even greater together, yes, but they both serve different purposes, and we think Linearity Suite actually offers the entire creative process for you with these two powerful apps. So does that answer? And another question. I will get back to the questions in the chat, but I would really appreciate it if you can throw them into Q&A. Can you animate an asset along a path? For instance, move a circle along a curved path rather than a straight line between 2 points.
Yeah, so like this is something, yeah, currently we don't have that, but we have the foundations, and animating along curve path is something that we will be building on very soon.
This is so exciting. And we are slowly running out of time, but will your subscription cover both apps? Yes, indeed, and for free. Our starter tier is free, and you can use both Linearity Move and Linearity Curve for free. In terms of plans on features and all of that, you can check out our pricing page. I think the latest info is on there. Another question from Daryl, taper strokes, a feature that's being planned, Yash, on your radar?
You mean using brushes, is that correct?
Daryl, can you comment on that? While we wait.
Like for now, I
Oh,
think the
yes,
best way
using
would be,
strokes, vector brushes.
yeah, I think since the vector brushes are more an illustration um, illustration feature, I think the best position for that would be to just come to work, come to curve, draw the the drawing, and then just move them to move. That is just a copy paste, and you can animate them from there on.
Awesome. I'm now going through the chat. Sorry if I miss some questions. Do you have to export your file from Curve to PDF, or can you just open the file as is?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Do you have to export your file from Curve as
Yeah,
PDF, or
yeah.
can you just open it as is?
You can open it as is. Like once you go to the move home screen, so this is move, as we see on the logo. There are two types of files shown over here. The black icons are the move files, and the orange icons with the curve logo are the curve files. So this is what we saw as a curve file. That is the iPhone storyboard, and I can just double click on it, and it directly goes to Scene Builder. So yeah, there's no need to export. You can just open the file and start animating.
And we can take one or two more questions. We still have some time. I had a little trouble, Andrew is saying, I had a little trouble getting text on a path that was created in Curve to animate in an early version of Move. Is that supported now?
Uh, yes, you can definitely give it another shot. And if you feel that, yeah, that you still are missing something, please feel free to write to us and we'll look into how we can improve that.
Awesome. I think for now, we don't seem to have any other questions. I will share the feedback form link again. Please let us know how we did. Well, I know Yash did amazing, but we would love to hear what went well, what didn't go well, what we could do better. And we have another question from Yasin. Is there an option like Favorites tab to save our animations for future? And can we create presets? Ooh, I love this one.
Yes, so I think by now you might be tired of hearing, but yeah, this is again, we have thought about it, and it's and it's on the roadmap and should be coming soon. By the way, like we have the feedback forum, like Medit, have you shared the link for, can you share the link for that as well?
Yes, I can.
So if we go, I'm not sure if I'm already sharing my screen. Am I? So
I think you are.
You can go to feedback.linearity.com and you can, there are a lot of feature requests already here. We would love to hear from you that you can upvote a particular feature so that it helps us to know like what is more relevant for you so that we can work on that.
Awesome. We just have 1 or 2 more minutes left. If there are more questions, we can take them, but if not, this has been amazing, and we have been recording this for everyone who made it and who couldn't make it. We will be sharing the recording. If we have any final questions, we can take them. And in the meantime, Yash, I'll ask, like internally as well, what's one question you got tired of hearing?
Um, there are so many.
Be honest, be honest.
Yeah, I think it would be
Yes, isn't it?
yeah, I think if I were to generalize, like it would be like, yeah, is this feature coming? Because I, as a designer itself, like can't hold on to the excitement that, oh, I want to try this. But yeah, we just need to be a little patient, and that's how Move will evolve with all the features that we need to create awesome animations.
We have one final question from Daryl. Where can we follow you guys and your team members? You can follow us on our socials, but I think this, correct me if I'm wrong, Yash, this is Yash's website, right?
Yes, it's a little old, but my socials are there.
And with that, if there is one final question, we can take it. Then I think that's it. First of all, thank you everyone for tuning in. And thank you everyone for all the insightful questions and all the vibes in the chat. I think everyone had a blast. We definitely, I think, earned that emoji now to whoever's posted it. And thank you, Yash, so much for the insightful demo. I think the theme was amazing. You made it look super easy. I gotta be honest. I'll go and try, perhaps do the first scene myself in like 7 hours. But hey, we live and we learn. And
Yeah.
thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week on our second event with Maddie. Thanks,
And thanks,
everyone.
everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bye.